We're going to call this closed session meeting for Barstow City Council, Barstow Fire Protection District for June 16th, 2026 to order at 6 p.m. I'm going to ask that everyone that can stand, please stand for a pledge led by Councilmember Hernandez.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, may we have roll call, please?
Yes, roll call is complete. Councilmember Rose is out with an excused absence, and all other members are present.
Thank you. Participation is invited. If you wish to be heard on any item on the agenda, including any item on the consent calendar, please indicate by filling out a speaker request card and hand it to the city clerk prior to the agenda item being addressed. If special accommodations are required, a 48-hour notice must be given to the city clerk. Code of Ethics is your elected governing board. We will remember the Code of Ethics that we voluntarily and unanimously approved. During this meeting, we'll treat each other and the public with patience, civility, and courtesy. The decisions made tonight will be for the benefit of the Barstow community and not for personal gain. Public comment of closed session. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the governing board on matters on the closed session agenda and within the city's jurisdiction. Speakers are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. All requests to speak must be received prior to the agenda item being addressed, and if special accommodations are required, a 48-hour notice must be given to the city clerk. Madam Clerk?
I have no comment tonight on closed session.
Thank you. With that, I'll ask for a motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Hernandez, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Noble to go into closed session. I'll call for the vote.
I'm sorry. I do have one. I apologize. It's on item 2. I thought it was 12.
Okay.
Mr. Jim Brown.
All right. Welcome, Mr. Brown.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Closed session number 2, the city manager. Y'all know what happened. And there's no excuse for it. And it's been out there. I got a phone call one day and said that don't bring up her DUI. And then so the same person, when Hopkins was here, said that, what do I want? They went to Espinoza and Hopkins and asked them, what do I want? And I told them, and I told that person, what do I want? I wanted him to tell the truth. Did he do it or he didn't do it? Now it's in your hands for her. You know, I understand that it may be $300,000. It's not about the money with me. It's about her performance, what she did, what she didn't do. And for y'all to put it on the agenda again, so I'm looking saying, y'all do the right thing. Because it's not personal with me. This is not personal at all. I just want y'all to do your job. You know, just do your job and just say, hey, you know, you messed up. But if you're going to keep her, you got to put a clause in there saying, no more DUIs, no more doing this, no more doing that. That's what y'all have to do. Y'all got to do that, at least for the people. Because I'm not the only one talking about it. If you're going to keep her, because she related to Rose, and that's what this is what this is all about. Rose Beardshear. This is what this is all about. Her name is prominent in Barstow, but her name don't mean nothing to me. I'm going to just tell you like it is. Don't mean nothing to me. So y'all can use her all you want, but it ain't right. And Mayor, when I was in your office, I told you what I wanted. And I told you, I want you to be fair. That's all I want. Be fair to the people.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. We have a first by Councilmember Hernandez, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Noble to go into closed session, and I will call for the vote.
And the motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We'll be back at 7 p.m. for our regular meeting.
Can you hear us? Let's see.
Stupid, I always forget this one's on the touch screen.
Oh. Let's see here. Hello? Testing.
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Perfect, thank you, sir. We're just testing our audio.
Yeah, no worries. I'm just hanging out because otherwise I'll forget to log in.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, but
Is it his meeting or this is the meeting that we have to be in, right?
yeah. This is the meeting that he was given in. He was given the link, but I don't know who's hosting. It's not labeling as us as a host.
I don't know either. I don't know. But if we're signed into the link, then I guess that's all we can do.
Okay. Because it did say sign into your Zoom account, which I did, but so. I want to go look at this picture on the wall. Sure. I should give you your seat back.
What's this?
Oh, I signed in. So.
Oh, so it has all the wacky schmacky.
Yeah.
Call this joint special meeting to order for the Barstow City Council, Barstow Fire Protection District, and Odessa Water District to order for June 16, 2026 at 7 p.m. I'm going to ask everyone that's able to please stand, and we are going to have an invocation by Pastor Joe Vale from Mojave Desert Christian Church. And please remain standing afterwards as we'll be led in our pledge by Councilmember Hernandez.
Would you bow with me in a word of prayer, please? Our Father God, we bow before you tonight, knowing that you are God and that we are not. We ask you, Father, to intervene in hearts and lives and helping folks, Lord, to make good choices, good decisions about things of life. We pray for our community. Pray that you bless the citizens of Barstow. Touch their hearts and lives, Lord, in a very special way and help them to make good choices each and every day. We ask you to guide and direct this city council, all the employees of the city of Barstow. Touch their hearts and lives, Lord, and help them to be of service to your people. Guide and direct everything that is said and done. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, may we have roll call, please?
Yes. Roll call is complete. Councilmember Rose has been marked with an excused absence, and all other members are present.
Thank you. Participation is invited if you wish to be heard on any item on the agenda, including any item on the consent calendar. Please indicate by filling out a speaker request card and hand it to the city clerk prior to the agenda item being addressed. If special accommodations are required, a 48-hour notice must be given to the city clerk. Code of Ethics is your elected governing board. We will remember the Code of Ethics that we voluntarily and unanimously approved. During this meeting, we will treat each other and the public with patience, civility, and courtesy. The decisions made tonight will be for the benefit of the Barstow community and not for personal gain. Review and approval of the agenda. This is the time for members of the governing board to call for rearranging the order agenda, adding items or removing items from the agenda, or removing items from the consent calendar for discussion and or separate action. Items may only be added to the agenda as allowed by state law, including Government Code Section 54954.2 Subdivision B, allowing emergency items to be added by a majority vote and allowing items that arose to the city's attention after the agenda posting deadline, but which require immediate action, to be added by a 2/3 vote of the council members present at the meeting, or if less than 2/3 of the council members are present, a unanimous vote of those members present. Prior to calling for a motion, I have an announcement from our city attorney, Mr. Jared.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. So I understand there's a number of people here tonight to speak specifically on the items on the consent calendar. And so before going to the public hearing of the budget matters, it may be appropriate to reorder the agenda so the consent calendar and the consent calendar public comment go first at this time. That would take a motion of the city council at this point.
All right, so the motion we're looking for then is to rearrange the agenda to move the consent calendar to the front, correct?
Correct.
All right, do you have a motion?
So move.
I second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Hernandez, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Noble, and we will be moving consent calendar to the beginning of the agenda. With that, is there any discussion? I'll call for the vote.
And the motion to approve the agenda to move consent calendar ahead of public hearings and business items passes unanimously.
Thank you. And with that, Madam Clerk, please read the consent calendar.
I do have public comment.
I'm sorry. Yes, bring up the public comment.
So I have Mr. Mark Sluter speaking on item 13, which is the LAFCO report. Mark? Mark?
Good evening.
Okay, Mr. Sluter.
To say I'm disappointed with the analysis of the city taking over the cemetery would be an understatement. I can't believe we waited 8 months for a report that basically said nothing. It wasn't anything more than a synopsis of the LAFCO report that is public record and is available to anyone. Where is the analytic data we all expected to see? How do you make a conclusion to revisit the cemetery takeover 3 to 5 years down the road without analytic data present? How do you make that decision? I have always pushed for a feasibility study, but know now why the city stuck with an analysis and being able to sidestep the real questions. Those questions would have been answered had the city management opted to conduct what the community expected, a true analysis using the 5 elements of a feasibility study. If conducted in this manner, economical, marketing, technical, financial, and management aspect would have all been addressed and provide a true picture will be required for the city to take over the cemetery. LAFCO would have a big part in the city taking over the cemetery, and it's disturbing the LAFCO requirements were not included in that report, even though I recently addressed this in an email to city management. The community has a right to know what these requirements are, and they should have been published. To begin with, the cemetery special district must be dissolved. LAFCO, an official application, a detailed plan for services, an approved environment review, and formal hearings must be conducted. The specific application checklist and guidelines include application and fees estimated at approximately $15,000, a resolution or petition, legal description, legal description and a map of the affected district boundaries, the plan for services, documentation demonstrating compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, and financial impacts to the county, the districts, and local entities. This is a lengthy process that could take anywhere from 6 months, 3 to 5 years. They want to hold off to revisit this. We're looking at 7 years down the road, which is unacceptable. The action could be started now and would significantly reduce any future delays. To make matters even worse, we would incur other delays because the city would have to incorporate the cemetery in the city limits. You all need to realize the cemetery does have an expiration date, and if we don't start acting soon, we could lose any ground we have made up the past 2 years since the LAFCO 2024 report. There's no data at all that was looked at.
Thank you, Mr. Sluter.
Could I have a little more time to finish up?
I can't make that decision.
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules to give them a couple more minutes.
I have a motion by Councilmember Williams to suspend the rules. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mayor Pro Tem Noble. I'll call for the vote.
And the motion to suspend the rules, allowing, passes unanimously.
Thank you. Mr. Sluter, you may continue.
Thank you. The cemetery does have an expiration date, even if we don't realize that. If we don't start to act, we're going to lose all the ground that we've made the last 2 years. Like I said, there is nothing that was mentioned about the LAFCO report in 2024 to present day. Everything that's been accomplished, none of that has been looked at. It should have been in the report. And I'll finish up. Most of what I covered is information that should have been in the analysis. It took me a matter of hours to put this together, not 8 months. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sluter.
Our next speaker is Mr. Mike Hernandez, speaking on item 8, which is the second reading and adoption of ordinances relating to the big project.
Welcome, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you, sir. On item what really concerns me is the DDA that we have, primarily due to the fact that every DDA we've ever had, the taxpayers have gotten screwed due to the negligence of the attorney and the council. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they don't set up somebody to monitor these things. And since they're not monitored, we always got in the shaft. When they sold the golf course, they sold the trees, they didn't pay on the note. We never did find out if they ever paid it off. The Arco station on Main was supposed to put up a sign. They put it up on city property. It was supposed to have something on the bottom saying functions that are going on in the city. It was never done. The aluminum plant, we outlaid the money for them to build it. We finally got our money back, but it took quite a while. Too many things are being done and nobody's monitoring. You have to trust but verify. Who's going to verify the DDA that we're doing with the big project? I had quite a few other questions, and let's see if I can get to some of them. First of all, I'd like to know how we're going to pay for the firemen and the police officers. I heard it was coming through property tax, but property tax won't be coming to us till after the structures are built, and we don't know how much it's going to be. They're going to collect $49 million in fees, and the big is wasting $25 million to do other projects with enlarging streets and so forth. Again, that comes out of budget, out of that money that's coming in. How do we do the ongoing maintenance on the projects that are being proposed? Because they'll build them, and they'll build them part with our money and their money, but who's going to maintain them? It took you 46 years to finish Section 7, and it's still not done. My concern is that don't take projects that are going to hurt the taxpayers. Same thing like the sewer plant. At one time, I heard it was $50 million to do the sewer plant. Now they say, no, we can do it with that, and we have to do improvements on it. Where are we going to get the money for the improvements? We're going to get grants. They got to be matching grants. Who's going to use the matching funds? The city? The taxpayers? When does everything come to a point where elected officials really represent the people and be forthcoming with the information? I find that I saw the project big and all the other projects. There was no questions asked at the studies. 4 years they were on, the big was on Channel 6. How much money did we receive? Not a dime. They're still on it. Nobody else does that. That's public funds that are being used.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you.
Our last speaker on consent is Mr. Eugene Butici, speaking on item 8, the second reading and adoption of ordinances relating to the big project.
Welcome, Mr. Butici.
Okay, thank you very much, Mayor and Council and staff. My name is Gene Butici, and I'm the Executive Director with the Barstow Chamber of Commerce. So I want to let you know I'm looking forward to the part of the journey regarding the general plan update, which includes the Barstow International Gateway specific plan. As this portion of the journey concludes, now comes what everyone has been waiting for, Barstow's growth. The Barstow International Gateway project will create thousands of direct and indirect jobs in Barstow. It will not happen overnight, but it will happen. Burlington Northern Santa Fe has been a vital presence in Barstow for over a century, and its ongoing commitment continues to drive growth in the community. While some foreign companies have promised to create hundreds of jobs, these plans have yet to come to fruition. BNSF, with its proven financial strength and expertise, is well equipped to achieve the goal. Moreover, their existing familiarity with California's regulatory environment positions and California regulatory environment positions them as the most reliable partner to deliver real, lasting development. It is impressive that the City of Barstow chose PlaceWorks to develop the general plan update. Their extensive experience includes successful projects from prominent California cities such as Ontario, Dana Point, La Quinta, Temecula, Santa Rosa, Fullerton, Sacramento, and Palm Springs, among many other cities. PlaceWorks has an in-depth knowledge of California's regulations and a proven track record of working with diverse communities throughout the entire state, making them an ideal partner for this important project. The general plan update, in conjunction with the previously approved downtown specific plan, will be able to change the appearance of Barstow while embracing the community's rich history. I understand the final goal and acknowledgement that the process may cause inconveniences. However, I'm confident that the benefits will bring to the community, and make it undeniably worth the effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Battisti.
I have no more comment on consent.
Thank you. Would you please read the items?
Item 5 are the minutes for the workshop meeting held January 20th, 2026 at 5:15. The recommended action is to approve minutes as presented. Item 6 for the minutes of the joint special meeting held January 20th, 2026 at 6:15 p.m. The recommended action is to approve minutes as presented. Item 7 are the minutes for the joint special meeting held June 2nd, 2026 at 5 p.m. The recommended action is to approve minutes as presented. Item 8 is the second reading and adoption of 1, the ordinance related to the Barstow International Gateway Big Specific Plan, and 2, an ordinance amending Title 19 of the Barstow Municipal Code to create business park and high-density residential zone districts, amend the medium-density residential zone district, eliminate the estate residential zone district, repeal Chapter 1.05, and make conforming amendments throughout Titles 12 and 19, and adopt a new zoning map. The recommended action is that the City Council adopt Ordinance 1035-2026 to adopt a new zoning map and amend Title 19 of the Barstow Municipal Code, BMC, to create a business park, BP, and high-density residential, HDR, zone districts, adopt minor changes to the medium-density residential zone, MDR, district, and eliminate the estate residential zone district, require adopted specific plans be incorporated by reference into the BMC, with copies available for review at the clerk's office, and repeal Chapter 1.05 as it is unnecessary and superseded by the updated general plan, and make conforming amendments throughout Title 12 and Title 19. Ordinance 1043-2026 to adopt the Big Specific Plan. Ordinance 1044-2026 to approve the development agreement, DA, that memorializes agreements negotiated between the City of Barstow and BNSF over fees, service agreements, and other aspects of the big project. Ordinance 1045-2026 to pre-zone LAFCO area Action Area A for the big project, including 2,676 acres of the proposed Big Specific Plan area and approximately 10-acre parcel, and Ordinance 1046-2026 to pre-zone LAFCO Action Area B for the big project, inclusive of 6 parcels totaling 99 acres. Item 9 is the Barstow Community Coalition and nonprofit organization has submitted a Community Promotional Fund, Measure Q, application requesting in-kind financial assistance from the city in the amount of $910 to help offset facility costs associated with hosting the Resource Fair and Veterans Connection on Thursday, June 25th, 2026 at the Cora Harbor Fitness Center. The recommended action is staff recommends that the City Council approve an in-kind donation valued at $910 to the Barstow Community Coalition, a nonprofit organization, to assist with facility use fees for the Resources Fair and Veterans Connection event scheduled for Thursday, June 25th, 2026 at Cora Harbor Fitness Center. Item 10 is the United States Veterans Support Group, Inc., a nonprofit organization, has submitted a Community Promotional Fund, Measure Q, application requesting in-kind financial assistance from the city in the amount of $1,006.10 to help offset facility costs associated with hosting its annual Kids Day event on Saturday, July 18th, 2026 at Cora Harbor Fitness Center. The recommended action is staff recommends that the City Council approve an in-kind donation valued at $1,006.10 to the United States Veterans Support Group, Inc., a nonprofit organization, to assist with facility use fees for the annual Kids Day event scheduled for Saturday, July 18, 2026 at Coral Harbor Fitness Center. Item 11 is a notice of completion and acceptance of public facility HVAC and ventilation upgrades at the Coral Harbor Fitness Center project, Project 2024-1000. The recommended action is city staff recommends the following. 1, to accept the public facility ventilation upgrades at the Coral Harbor Fitness Center, Project 2024-1000, and 2, authorize city staff to record the notice of completion, Attachment A, with the San Bernardino County Recorder. Item 12 is the amendment number 9 to Waste Disposal Agreement, WDA. The recommended action is approve amendment number 9 to the Waste Disposal Agreement with the County of San Bernardino. Item 13 is analysis of the Local Agent Formation Commission's LAFCO 2024 report on the Barstow Cemetery District. The recommended action is to receive and file the analysis report of the Local Agency Formation Commission's 2024 study of the Barstow Cemetery District, and 2, reevaluate the city's and district's long-term sustainability in 3 to 5 years, taking into consideration anticipated growth and development trends, and 3, to continue supporting the district through available in-kind services as appropriate. Item 14 is a resolution authorizing the street closure of segments of Mountain View Street between Barstow Road and Helen Runyon 7th Avenue as part of the fiscal year 25-26 street rehabilitation project. The recommended action is staff recommends the City Council take the following action. Adopt Resolution 5290-2026, approving the closure of segments of Mountain View Street between Barstow Road and Helen Runyon Drive, 7th Avenue, from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Wednesday, June 17, 2026. Item 15 is a year-end review and amendment to the fiscal 2025-2026 Measure I Capital Improvement Plan, CIP. The recommended action is staff recommends that the City Council take the following actions. Approve the adjustments to the fiscal year 2025-2026 Measure I Capital Improvement Project per Attachment A, and authorize adjustments of the associated expenditure and revenue transfer accounts from the Measure I Fund 209 to the Capital Improvement Project CIP Fund 400, and 2, to direct staff to forward this report to SBCTA. Item 16 is the award of contract to KOA AHW Lochner Inc. Company for professional traffic engineering, design, and environmental services for the city's pedestrian, bicycle, and safe routes to school SRTS project. The recommended action is staff recommends the City Council, 1, to approve and award the design contract to KOA AHW Lochner Inc. Company and attach fee schedule Attachment A. 2, to authorize the city manager or her designee to sign all necessary project-related documents. 3, to approve and award the project budget for the PAED, PSNE project contingencies and project management fees in the amount of $572,670 from Measure I local funds as shown below. The KOA AHW Lochner Inc. Company of $512,670. David Evans and Associates, $20,000. Contingency of $40,000. 4, to authorize the city manager or her designee to approve a project management task order with David Evans and Associates, Inc. for an amount not to exceed $20,000. 5, to authorize the City of Barstow's Finance Department to amend and establish project-related expenditure account numbers as shown below. The ATP Safe Routes to School PAES PSNE account 400-801-139-23209 for $59,463. ATP Safe Routes to School Project Management account number to be determined of $20,000. Item 17 is a resolution to adopt fiscal year 2026-2027 projects funded by Senate Bill 1, SB 1, the Road Repair and Accountability Act of 2017. The recommended action is staff recommends that the City Council approve Resolution 5291-2026, Adopting fiscal year 2026-2027 project list, Exhibit A, funded by Senate Bill 1, SB 1, and waive the full reading. Item 18 is a resolution 5292-2026 to initiate proceedings to reaffirm the levy and collection of annual assessments and ordering the city engineer to prepare an engineer's report for Landscaping Assessment District 1, Street Maintenance Assessment District 1, Street Lighting Assessment District 1, and Flood Control Assessment District 1. The recommended action is staff recommends that the City Council, 1, approve Resolution 5292-2026 to initiate proceedings to reaffirm the levy and collection of annual property tax roll assessments for fiscal year 2026-2027, to order the consulting city engineer to prepare an engineer's report for Landscaping Assessment District 1, Street Maintenance Assessment District 1, Street Lighting Assessment District 1, Flood Control Assessment District 1, and to set the date, time, and location of the public hearing for the reaffirmation of the annual property tax roll assessments for Tuesday, July 21st, 2026 at 7 p.m. at 220 East Mountain View, Barstow, California, 92311. Direct the city clerk to publish a notice of public hearing in the local newspaper of general circulation and to waive the full reading. And that is the end of the consent calendar, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please have a drink of water. Any questions from the council regarding any items of consent calendar? Seeing no questions from council, I'll ask for a motion. I have a motion by Councilmember Williams. I'll take the second from Councilmember Hernandez. Any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote.
And the motion on our consent item passes unanimously 4-0.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to the general non-agendized public comment. This is the time and the place for the general public to address the governing board on matters not on the agenda and within the city's jurisdiction. Speakers are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes or less. All requests to speak must be received prior to the agenda item being addressed, and if special accommodations are required, a 48-hour notice must be given to the city clerk. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Mayor, at this point, I'm going to ask the court reporter to be relieved. There's no longer a need for her services for the remainder of the meeting for preparation of the minutes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Our first speaker is Mr. Mark Sluter.
Hello again.
Welcome, Mr. Sluter.
Thank you. Last month, I ran an impromptu survey across 4 social media platforms in regards to the city taking over the operation of the cemetery. Although the majority of those that responded were in favor, there were those that were opposed for several reasons. The biggest reason, most disturbing for those being against it, is they just don't trust you, the city council and city management, to effectively run the cemetery. These aren't my words, but this was just sent to me, and I'm trying to fit it in here. The appearance of the city of Barstow has been on the decline for years, and the city council and city management have done little to correct it. Iconic buildings have been abandoned and boarded up. Many vacant buildings have been vandalized and burned. Our streets are in disrepair, as are our parks. It is the responsibility of the city council and management to maintain our city, and it's not being done. Why do we continue to reward these people with across-the-board pay raises for not doing their job? The cemetery is just one more thing the city won't be able to maintain. So these are my words. We all know that most of these issues have been resolved or are being resolved, but complacency has no place here, and you all need to be more proactive and not reactive when it comes to our city appearance. One question I always get about the cemetery is how and why did it get so bad, and how long is it going to take to fix it? I would ask you the same question about the appearance of our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sluter.
Our next speaker is Mr. Mike Hernandez.
Welcome, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you, sir. My first question is, I forgot, on the big project, the tax revenue that's going to be created by, I presume, the buildings that are going to be built there, do we happen to know what approximately we're going to get out of that? And what would it be net after the county takes its cut and all special districts take their cut? Will we have enough there to pay for the police and the firemen that are required? And when are they going to be put on? After the buildings are built? We're not fronting any of the money to pay for this, are we? That's another question I had. Second thing is the building on corner of First and Main is being painted, and I presume you're going to put a sign on it. It's not city property. The building has been burnt, broken windows, no roof, and we're using public money to snooze up a building. I'm kind of curious about that. Isn't that kind of a gift of public funds? And do we have the okay to do it, by the way? Which is another question I had. I see things going on here and not much is changing. We're still fighting a lot of similar things that were gone in the past. It would seem to me that more listening to public and answering their questions. The only one that does that is Tex. Right now, he's the only one that cares enough to go out and talk to people. The rest of you don't. Well, that's your prerogative. But there is something lost. It's a communication between the public and the city, and you public officials and city manager and other staff members. I would like to see more of you go to local functions and be there. This is a community, and the community means that everybody gets involved. And if you're working for the city, you should be part of the community. Get involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
Our next speaker is Mr. Gilbert Asa.
Welcome, Mr. Asa.
Hello. City Attorney, I'd like for you to pay attention very clearly. Penal Code 148.5, PC, false reports. Number 2, Penal Code 118. Penal Code 118 PC, perjury. Penal Code 115 PC, filing documents, false documents. Number 4, Penal Code 424 PC, misuse of power and authority. You guys have allowed one of your councilmen to sit there to use every last one of these against me. Against me for no reason. If that councilman felt that I was threatening threatening him, they should have had me arrested right there and then at the meeting. But no, that person got up, went straight to the chief of police, and told him to come out here because she felt threatened. Yes, I'm talking about Barbara Rose. Most likely she wasn't going to be here. Now, these charges right here, I will be filing tomorrow morning. I've already talked to Chief Kirby. The city, I want you to understand that you can be held for an accessory to after the fact that the crime was committed and did nothing. And it started in 2019 by covering up for an officer and the chief of police and your city manager. So if I were you, I've had plenty of time trying to contact you, the city manager, city attorney. Not one of you guys want to talk to me because you know you're damn wrong. And I'm going to tell you this. It's just begun. I hope you guys enjoy it. Oh, yeah, and that last remark, enjoy that last minute. Go back on the video and look at it closely before they charge me. And you guys allowed her to do it. You knew that she filed those charges against me. And you still allowed her to do it, and you knew they were false. I'll see you guys in court.
Thank you, Mr. Hossa.
Our next speaker is Mr. Ted Wiesma.
Welcome, Mr. Wiesma.
Thank you. I just want to congratulate Mayor Tex for taking over city management. I mean, you've been doing a fantastic job. You go every place out there, same as Mayor Dale used to. And you do get Councilman Silva to come along every few times. But most importantly, you've taken over the city. And I'm saying congratulations. You get out there and you do everything you can. Other than I still don't like that you wish to attack homeless and poor people, when I think you should be concentrating on the public safety hazards that are out there, code enforcement-wise and otherwise. But you have your agenda, and you have a bunch of PACs, political action committees. The whole purpose of political action committees is fund politicians. And since you already have the mayor's job, I guess you're heading for county supervisor. You're already using the police out there to help you along your way, even getting them to help you in a helicopter to overfly the I-15 corridor. So bottom line is you're doing a good job, and keep doing it. Just lay off on the homeless, because they're not the only problem out there, and a lot of them aren't the problem at all. When you go after husbands and wives and children, I really think it's wrong, and you shouldn't be doing that. You should be dealing with the issues and not the people that you wish to blame for the issues. But bottom line again, as mayor, you're doing a great job, and congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Wiesma.
Our next speaker is Mr. John Harris, Jr.
Welcome, Mr. Harris.
Evening, everybody. Father, I'd like to humble myself before you for being arrogant and prideful enough to think that my mind can be a partner to you. As always, you're right. They do know what they did. And so, to erase that sin from my file and to ease the tumult that my soul has on this issue, I recant my prayers for their forgiveness. Because with that vote the other Tuesday, they showed me that the vision you showed me of them suffering your unfettered wrath was true. So, God, please bless the United States of America. Bless and save Barstow. And bless California. Amen. If you read Project 2025 and you voted for this farce, you're a traitor and should resign before impeachment. If you've never read Project 2025 at this late date, you're unfit to serve and you should resign before impeachment. Because this is Barstow, and you've chosen to vote to kill it instead of preserve the intrinsic beauty of this desert. All it needs now for you to find out how to balance a budget and put our work crews back to clean up the mess. And we need to, somebody needs to consider my plan to repurpose these people, because we repurpose when we teach them to make the products that we make in China now. And we get them back into the tax base and we get them back on Social Security. And none of the billionaires will get a dime. only the workers and the city will split the profits. That's just one thing. But, you've got us rolling downhill like a snowball headed for hell. No kind of respect for the Constitution, the people, the flag, or the Liberty Bell. I wish the Ford and the Chevy still last 10 years like they should. And if you put the people in Barstow back to work, they would. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harris.
Our next speaker is Miss Vanessa Pack.
Welcome, Mrs. Pack.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and City staff. I'm incredibly proud of the work our subcommittees are doing, and even more proud that we are all working together with one shared goal, making Barstow better. The Barstow Action Committee serves as a connecting point, supporting each committee as they focus on the issues that matter most to our community. We're here to connect resources, community members, businesses, organizations, and elected representatives so we can identify concerns, create solutions, and take action. Through the Barstow Connect app, we tracked 100 submitted reports this period, with 23 open and 77 successfully closed. Beyond the app, we assisted in recovering one stolen vehicle, supported the removal of over 24 tons of trash, and are proud to share that lockers have been secured and installed at Henderson Pool. These are the kinds of wins that remind us why this work matters. I'd like to recognize each of our subcommittees and the incredible work they're doing. The Barstow Route 66 Action Committee, one of our subcommittees, recently showed up in a big way at the Big Texan event at the Harvey House, helping bring contestants, partnering with local businesses, including Barstow Auto Sales, which provided free ice-cold water for everyone in attendance and making sure the event was a true community success. That's community collaboration in action. Alongside them, the Barstow Business Action Committee, the Barstow Cleanup and Repair Action Committee, the Barstow Cemetery Action Committee, the Barstow School District Action Committee, and the Barstow Homeless Action Committee are each focused on areas that directly impact our city, and each one is making a difference. We're also grateful for the continued growth of our farmers market and want to thank Leonard Williams and his team for their dedication to its success. Finally, we want to extend our sincere appreciation to Councilmember John Tex Williams for the continued support and belief in community-driven solutions. His commitment to the people of Barstow has helped strengthen everything we do. This is bigger than one committee. It's about building connections, strengthening community pride, and creating a better Barstow where everyone has a role to play. We're proud of the work being done, and we're just getting started. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Pack.
Our next speaker is Miss Debbie Aguayo.
Good evening.
Welcome, Ms. Aguayo.
Hi, good evening. I'd like to thank you, first of all, for taking a united front, representing Barstow with a big project. That is going to be an amazing project that's going to help the growth of Barstow immensely, bring a lot of support to our community as far as jobs, as far as the things that Big is going to be bringing to Barstow through the parks, through our schools, through our college, and especially through our youth. I couldn't be more proud of this project being accepted and the big step that Barstow is going to be taking in the near future years. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Aguayo.
Our next speaker is Mr. Perry Pack.
Welcome, Mr. Pack.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't see eye to eye with everyone, but I do see a lot of the things that have been being done by this city council and by this management and the workers throughout the city, because we are out there as action committees. It's like I told my wife when we joined the committee, I says, I don't want to join another committee that doesn't do but very little or nothing at all. The action committees that I'm involved with, we go out there with the people, with the businesses, find out what's going on, and do our best to help facilitate a better end for Barstow. And that is for the people, for the businesses, for the students, for the children, for the elderly, and for the homeless. We're not looking for self-pride or anything about ourselves. We're given to our community, and we're all volunteers. You guys are not all volunteers. Some of you are, some of you are not. At the same time, you have to listen to the people. And I believe most of the time, the city council and city workers and city management have been doing that. And they've also suffered the backlash of city councils and management that did not. And I want to say that I want to back you guys all the way to the goal of being a better Barstow, with you guys included. And I do believe that we could take a second look at us as the people of Barstow, through our city council, through our management and the workers, and understand that maybe we might want to take over that cemetery and give it the dignity it deserves. We need to do things like that to be a better Barstow. I appreciate you all.
Thank you, Mr. Peck.
Our next speaker is Mr. Jim Brown.
Welcome, Mr. Brown.
Good evening. Jim Brown, Barstow. Tex, I just want to thank you for getting that mess and homeless off across the street. You know, it done a lot. Today, I seen a homeless person taking a doughboy pool across the bridge. That's sad. I don't know where he got it from, but he was coming off the drive with it. So you need to, this is my recommendation, and I think I told you, the people that you work with, you need to take them down there, especially like Rose Beardshire, so she can see, because she the one that got, they church got the money. You got Gibbons. Take them down there and let them see what you dealing with, because it's sad. I mean, it is a lot of people down there, a lot. I see like maybe 20, 30 people walking through there a day. And if you go by the church on the hill and you look up at the top of the hill, you're going to see tents right back there. You're going to see them. They all over the drive. We being invaded. And this city got to do something. I don't know what you got to do, but these people that got this money, they need to do something. Don't sit on it. Don't be like a Minnesota, where they just hold on to the money. That ain't right. That's taxpayers' money. And Trump, he is going after those kind of people that hold on to the money and spend it on themselves. So, to me, you're doing a good job, but they just moving from place to place, pillar to post. But you do need help.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Our next speaker is Miss Sherry Bailey.
Welcome, Ms. Bailey.
Hello, Mayor, staff, City Council. Well, this journey has been long, and I appreciate the opportunity to engage. Now that the city has certified this project, the next responsibility becomes accountability. I'm asking the city to create a plain language public guide to the mitigation, monitoring, and reporting program. Not just a technical table buried in the record, but a living guide residents can use. This guide should identify every mitigation measure, who is responsible, when it applies, how compliance will be verified, where reports will be posted, how residents can report the violations, and what enforcement actions will happen if BNSF or its contractors do not comply. Sylvan Avenue residents should not have had to become environmental specialists to understand whether or not we are being protected. If the city is relying on mitigation to justify significant and unavoidable impacts, then the city must also make those mitigations visible, measurable, enforceable, and accessible to the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey.
Our next speaker is Ms. Marcia Wiesma.
Welcome, Ms. Wiesma.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mayor, I know life gets busy and hectic, but you did promise almost 6 months ago that we were going to have a special report, a special program designed by Burtech. I encourage you to check with the office. They have a wonderful one with the dancing garbage cans and stuff, and activities that they will put you all through. And it is on television, Channel 6, for all the people to view. Secondly, we've not heard from the Humane Society. I know that project was put to bed for once it was done, but I really like what they've done on Channel 6. They're running a little ad that says, we have adoptable pets and animals, and they do a list of supplies that they need. But it would be nice to bring back Linda and one of her crew members to talk about how great the shelter is doing now. And Mr. Rosenberg has a lot to say about the new kennels. And this one really touches my heart. The water towers have been painted again, but there is no football team on there. It should be. You did say it was going to come, and I believe it will. I believe that they're just slow getting to us. But in 1972, the class over there at the high school graduated with a champion in track. That was taken down. I want you, Mr. Mayor, to make sure that they are put back on the same tower as our football team is. I think it's a great idea. And a very close thank you is for our police chief, Kirby. I've mentioned before, he goes into the stores. I've seen him in there working with the people very closely. He's very compassionate with the homeless. He is doing a very good job. Tonight, he did a special one. He looked into something that was a problem. It could be a problem. He is making sure it is not a problem. And all people that need to use the handicap exit, talk to Chief Kirby. You'll find out how it goes. Carmen explained it once, and Michael is using it, and he needs to. And I think several of our people are here tonight that will be using it all. So I thank you, Mr. Kirby, for taking care of that. And thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Mrs. Wisma.
And our last speaker is Miss Ann Taylor.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor.
Welcome, Ms. Taylor.
Thank you. I want to give a public announcement. There, in spite of all what's going on, there's still some good celebrations going on that we in Barstow can come together and celebrate. Let's celebrate the 25th Annual Arts Industrial Women's and Men's Club, the Juneteenth celebration. It's kind of a bittersweet, but this has been going on for 25 years right here in the city of Barstow. And it's this coming Saturday, June the 20th, starting at 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. right there at the park on the drive. So if you're available. Come out. We're going to be having some good entertainment, some good food, and we're going to come out and just celebrate freedom, that we can all have a good time as a community together. How about that? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
That is the last speaker we have. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. With that, we're going to move on to item 4, which was moved to after consent, which is a public hearing, resolution approving the request by Burtech Waste Industries for a consumer price index CPI increase. The recommended action is conduct a public hearing and, subject to testimony received, adopt resolution number 5289-2026, approving a request by Burtech Waste Industries for a consumer price index CPI increase of 3.28% to existing rates for waste collection and recycling services, and waive the full reading. And this will go to City Manager, Ms. Clayton.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I would like to turn it over to Ms. Harris to introduce, and I believe Ms. Taylor Britt's in the audience to come up and provide this presentation.
Yes, we have Taylor Britt, our administrative analyst, who is covering solid waste, and with her tonight from our Burtech team, I believe we have Sandy and...
We have Rick Melendez. He is the sales manager for Burtech.
Right. Go ahead.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, staff, and community. In accordance with the Burtech franchise agreement, this item is for their annual request for a rate adjustment for the percentage increase of the consumer price index reported by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Overall percentage change in CPI for the January to December period immediately preceding the proposed date of the rate adjustment is 3.28%. The total proposed rate increase for standard residential service is $1.71 per month. As the city bills bi-monthly for residential trash service, this amounts to an increase of $3.42 each billing cycle. The commercial rates are based on level of service, so each business is going to be different just depending on their level of service. Should the proposed increase be approved, the rates would become effective July 1st, 2026. The 5-year Proposition 218 notice was sent June 5th, 2023, of the intent to consider annual CPI increases pursuant to the franchise agreement. A notice of public hearing was published by the city clerk's office prior to tonight's hearing and was additionally sent out on the May utility billing statements. And then we already introduced Rick Melendez, who's the sales manager, and we also have Sandy Pena, who is the municipal program coordinator, here to help answer any questions we may have.
Thank you. Before I open the public hearing, I'll bring it to council for questions of staff. Seeing none, I will open the public hearing at 7:58 p.m. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, I have one. Mr. Mike Hernandez.
Welcome, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you, sir. I thought they had to file 218 and have a public meeting, notify all the property owners inside, which is part of the, when you increase rates. Not that you just have a meeting in front of the council and go that way. Even although they said it was approved 5 years ago, I don't remember 5 years ago that happening. I thought it had to happen on an annual basis as they filed for an increase. I firmly believe that they should not get an increase. I think people pay enough taxes, gas, food, and prices are going outrageous. And now the trash company wants more money to collect your trash. Besides, they don't say what they make on the recycling, do they? Do they put it out? They used to at one time. They used to tell you how much money they made. I don't know if they do it now. I know for a long time they were putting it out and the city was giving it to them. Like a bonus, just for picking up the trash. In the old days, they picked it up twice a week. Now they pick it up once a week. And now we pay a hell of a lot more than what we used to. But the point is, had the dumps fees increased? Is it just an increase to pay for their employees? Everybody wants to make more money, but let's be honest. An average taxpayer is being bled to death. The government's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Have some consideration for the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
We have no more public comment on this.
With that, I'll close the public hearing at 8 p.m. and bring it back to council for questions. Seeing none, okay, Mayor Pro Tem Noble, go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. There was a question brought up in reference to the recycling. Can you address that?
I do believe with the recycling, in our annual report, it costs more to process than we're making off of it. I believe that's correct. I have those numbers. I can bring them back if necessary, but the actual processing of the recyclables is more than we're making off of the collection of them.
Is that something that is put out publicly on an annual basis, semi-annual, something that the public knows?
We do receive an annual report from Burtech. It's not posted publicly on like our website or anything like that, but those numbers can be provided.
But is that something that can be posted on your website or to the public?
I would have to speak with Burtech and review our franchise agreement just to make sure. I'm not sure what numbers are available to the public versus what's like proprietary information, but we can look into that as well.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Noble. I'm going to ask the City Attorney, Mr. Jared, would you please answer Mr. Hernandez's question regarding Prop 218?
Yes, the public comment was in regard to why is there not a public hearing tonight for the item before you. And the reason is that public hearing did happen several years back as required, and that rate study established a process for annual increases. It's that process, that equation, that has been applied here. And so the process before you tonight, or process that you adopted as a city, has been implemented and followed and is consistent with California law.
No, thank you for that legal description. So simply, when approved, it in the approval applied the CPI increase, which is what we're doing tonight.
That's correct. It set a process for applying a CPI, and that was approved then. What's before you tonight is implementing the current CPI to that process.
And then, City Manager, Ms. Clayton, it was brought up about the rate increase. Technically, tonight, we could approve the request of the 3.28 to Burtech. What is the rate increase, which is not a request by Burtech, but what is the rate increase? Is it $1?
$1.71
Okay.
on the monthly rate to the customers.
Okay. And the recommendation is for council to consider the rate increase.
Correct. That's
so
correct.
So a motion could be made to the CPI increase, but not the rate increase.
Correct.
And
or any amount under $1.71 as well. Okay. If there was a lesser amount recommended by council, that is also an option.
And is there a surplus in that account right now?
Currently, there's approximately $500,000 surplus. The cost of the 3.28% is approximately $220,000 to $250,000.
Okay.
So that surplus could be absorbed in the $500,000.
Okay. You answered my next two questions. So, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Noble, you have a question?
And I'm sorry, can I also add on to the last question about the Prop 218? That was conducted in 2024 and did cover a 5-year period, just to add on to what Attorney Jared stated.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Noble?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. And you also mentioned that if approved, that it will take effect this July, this year?
Yes, with the start of the new fiscal year.
Is that adjustable to move it to the right, or is that concrete?
The CPI to the city, 3.28%, is effective July 1st. If you wanted, as far as the rate were to be adjusted, that could be another time or phased in.
Okay.
Councilmember Hernandez. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Questions?
Yes. Since we have that surplus, could we use that for the cost of living for this period? It wouldn't be ongoing, but it would be a one-time?
Yes, we could.
Okay. And I'll leave the rest for discussion.
Thank you, Councilor Hernandez. Seeing no more questions from council, do we have a motion? Seeing no motion, okay, go ahead. Someone can make a motion?
Yes, I move with the recommended action based on what I see here.
Okay, I need clarification, so we have a motion for the request by Burtech for the 3.28, and what about the rate increase?
Yes.
You're going to motion for the rate increase?
Yes, for the rate increase, it's under the 171, right?
Yes, 171,
Okay.
$1.71.
All right.
Yes.
I'm going to make a subsequent motion that we approve the 3.8 CPI increase for Burtech, but at this time hold off on the rate increase to the public for $1.71. Do I have a second? Okay, my motion, second by Councilor Hernandez. We take the subsequent motion first. We will, any discussion?
Yes. You know, with the cost of living, inflation being 4.2%, the gas is unbelievable. I don't think it's fair when we have a surplus to put that burden on our residents at this time. And that's my comment.
Thank you. Seeing no more comments from council, I just want to, as Council Member Hernandez mentioned, my questions were to enlighten the council that we do have a surplus, that not increasing the rate for this 1 year, there would still be a surplus. And with a surplus, I don't feel fair to pass the rate increase on at this time. So I'll now call for, okay, Mayor Pro Tem Noble, discussion?
Because of that, then are we saying that without the rate increase, that we're going to still continue to have a surplus? About how much?
She mentioned in her answer that we are about $500,000,
Correct.
and we would go to about 250, so about 50%.
So if that's the case, then why not just do it for 2 years then and utilize the whole surplus?
Well, it comes back annually, is that correct?
Correct. So you would see next year the $1.71 would be if council chooses to absorb it with the surplus this year, there will still be next year about the same time come back with next year's CPI, which could be more, or that's just based on the calculation as indicated.
Okay, thank you.
I'll come back in discussion. It's wise to do it annually since it comes back anyway. Estimates, calculations could be incorrect, so it should be addressed at next year's. Seeing no more discussion from council,
Mayor, I'm in.
I don't see you in there.
Yeah. Better get IT on working.
Okay, Councilmember Williams?
The taxes are never going to go away. I don't know how else to tell you. I don't know how else I can say it to you. Your city is going to always have taxes. Burtex is always going to need more money. Their gas goes up. Their labor goes up. Everything goes up. Federal government goes up. So delaying it, doing it again, I get it. It's hard. People are having a tough time. No problem. I got it. But you want your trash dumped? You want it picked up? There's a price to pay for everything. And I think we just need to make sure that we're looking at the long-term future of what we're doing, and with Burtex and everything else they're doing, it's important to understand their cost. You think those trucks are free? You think the diesel's free? Again, we talk about taxes. Guess what? It's never going away. That's my opinion.
Thank you, Councilmember Williams. Councilmember Hernandez?
Is it true that the landfill fees are going down?
That is true for the city's contract. However, I don't know the details in relation to the Burtech contract. I
Right.
don't know as far as that correlation.
And there's legislation pending regarding organics where companies like Burtech are going to be reimbursed by the state. Is still fluid, is that correct?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
The organics is a Senate
Right.
bill.
Yes.
And there's a reimbursement for Burtech and other companies like that regarding organics, but it hasn't been figured out yet. Isn't that correct?
I do know that there are legislation coming down from the state regarding producers. I'm not quite sure about the legislation you're referring to that would be for
Yeah.
the service providers.
That's fine. I just went to the meeting, so that's why I know about that. So for Councilman Williams' information, since that is my meeting, there's a lot of changes that are coming down, so I don't want someone to assume that just these fees are going to go up. There's a lot of other things that are currently going down right now.
Thank you, Councilor Hernandez. Councilmember Williams.
The state doesn't give anything back. It's your money. It's your taxes. So everything they're doing, reducing anything else, is still your taxes. No organization, no city, no state, no federal will ever run without taxes. Think about it. They're not giving you anything. It's your money in the first place. They're not decreasing things because they want to decrease it. It's all a game. You're going to be taxed no matter what you do, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. As soon as we accept it, the better off we're all going to be. At the end of the day, labor rate from when's the last time we had it? Did anybody know the last time we had a tax increase on the 1% for, I think it was 2012. It's what is it, 7.75 now? Think about it. You know, it was 20 years now, and you're still doing taxes back, income coming back from that time frame. None of it makes sense. All I'm saying to you is, you're gonna pay it sooner or later. What's the fact of it's going to be? If it's not this year and not next year, it's going to be the year after that. So, I see the cost of business. I understand what the cost of business for the city is. You'd be shocked to see the numbers that what it takes to run a city. And it's your taxes. That's why you're in charge.
See no more discussion. We will go on to vote. For clarification of the council and the public, we vote on the subsequent motion first. The subsequent motion was to approve the 3.28 CPI increase to Burtech Industries. However, the recommendation to council regarding to consider the rate increase to the public of 1.71 is not in the motion. With that, I'll call for the vote.
And the motion to approve item 4 passes 4-0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. With that, we'll move on to business action items. Item number 19, approval of the First Amendment to the employment agreement with Rochelle Clayton as City Manager, Fire Protection District Manager, Odessa Water District Manager, and Successor Agency Manager to extend the contract for additional 3 years and increase the compensation. Recommended action, staff recommends that the City Council approve the First Amendment to the employment agreement between the City of Barstow and Rochelle Clayton. Any questions from council? I'm sorry, I forgot to give it. This one's actually going to go to the City Attorney, Mr. Jared. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. This item comes before you and requires that there be an announcement as to the terms of the agreement that are being presented for her compensation under consideration. The terms are that annual salary will be $300,000, that the severance component will be extended to 12 months, that the auto allowance will be provided in the amount of $750 per month, and that the provision under the city code relating to potential for termination by the city council on a 4/5 vote after an election be extended to a 120-day period. All of the terms of her current contract remain the same, including health and other retirement benefits. Concludes the report.
Thank you, City Attorney Mr. Jarrett. Any questions from council? Seeing none, I'll take it to the public. Madam Clerk?
Yes, our first speaker is Mr. Ted Wiesma.
Welcome, Mr. Wiesma.
Thank you. First of all, the wonderful governor of this state makes $243,962 a year. That's the governor of the whole state of California. And here you're offering $300,000 to a city manager. Somehow I think there's something wrong there. Not that she's not doing a good job, because it seems from many ways that she is. And I noticed the increase is only $26,000 a year, and that's not an unreasonable increase. But the total, I think, is unreasonable when you look at other city managers and the governor of this state. Something's wrong. I'm just wondering where that money's coming from, too. I know 4 employees were laid off. Is that where the money's coming from? I don't know. But it seems like the city suddenly has a lot of money to spend. I don't know. Has the Marriott finally paid up? There's really a question on how you can keep spending, spending, and spending. I also note on this that, like I said, it's only $26,000 a year. It's a 3-year contract. If I read your contract agreement correctly, that locks in the $300,000 a year for those 3 years. I'd like to make sure that that is accurate, and we're not here next year adding another $26,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wiesma.
Our next speaker on this item is Ms. Marcia Wiesma.
Welcome, Mrs. Wiesma.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. That is hard to live with a guy who knows the facts, nothing but the facts. And he does check them quite. But I understand that, Mr. Jarrett, I thank you for first explaining the whole program to the city, people out in the audience, and secondly, to the people that are watching on television. When you first read it, you look at the thing like, golly gee, she's making more than our superintendent. Well, there are extra things that are in the contract, and she is compensated for driving. That is a long ways. I would like, though, to have some time for the public to visit with Rochelle. She came in on a roll. Her feet hit the ground. Those tiny little hills were going clickety-clackety, clickety-clackety all over the hills, all over the floors. She even can make them clickety-clack on the carpet. That's a unique little trait of hers. But when people call, she's busy or she's never around. She's been here almost a year, and some of us have never got to welcome her. That's a shame. But I think now she's got some assistance in the office, which should make things a lot easier. Sometimes it is easier to check with our city manager. And before, we could not check with the city managers that we had in the past. It was just something you would not want to do, and you could not get the truth said. But I wish her luck. I enjoy watching her go clickety-clack with those tiny heels and the tiny feet. I think she is a former dancer. she looks like she could have been. And anyway, she is doing well on all of the projects we see. So I hope this is not a turnoff for people when they don't really study what's going on. But I want accountability held for everyone, and I believe she should be held accountable also, as well as everybody that serves the city and the residents. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Wiesma.
We have no more comment on this item.
Thank you. With that, I'll bring it back to council. Are there any further questions? Seeing none, I'll call for a motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Hernandez, a second by Mayor Pro Tem Noble. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote.
And the motion to approve item 19 passes unanimously 4-0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. With that, we'll move on to item 20, consideration of approval of the fiscal year. I'm done? Okay. This will be for approval of the fiscal year 2026-2027 proposed operating and capital improvement budget, appropriation limits, investment policy, and the publicly available pay schedule for the budgeted positions. They recommend action that the City Council and the Barstow Fire Protection District Board take the following actions. That the City Council approve the fiscal year 2026-2027 proposed operating and capital improvement budget for the city in the amount of $121,702,494 and adopt the attached joint resolution number 10-2026, attachment B, approving the proposed budget, attachment A, including any city council amendments, if any, and excluding the Barstow Fire Protection District budget, fund number 225, and waive the full reading. Number 2, that the Fire Protection District Board approve and adopt the preliminary budget for the Barstow Fire Protection District in the amount of $8,822,666 and adopt the attached joint resolution number 10-2026, attachment B, approving and adopting the preliminary budget, attachment A, as submitted pursuant to Health and Safety Code section 13893A1 and waive the full reading. Number 3, approve the annual 2026-2027 appropriations limit, which is calculated using the change in growth in the California personal income and the change in population growth of the city, county, which are determined by the state of California, and adopt City of Barstow Resolution number 5293-2026 and BFPD Resolution number 78-2026, establishing the appropriation limits for the fiscal year 2026-2027 by title only and waive the full reading. Number 4, that the City Council adopt Resolution number 5294-2026, approving the publicly available pay schedule, PAPS, and attachment C. And number 5, that the City Council adopt investment policy and Resolution number 5295-2026 of the City of Barstow for fiscal year FY 2026-2027. City Manager, Ms. Clayton.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I would like to introduce Finance Director Harris to provide this presentation.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I want to start off by acknowledging that there were some technical difficulties in producing the staff report. So there is a red line version and a new version that have been produced, and I believe copies have been provided for you. We will walk through the numbers as they have been considered by staff and by City Manager to present to you tonight this proposed operating and capital improvement budget. Okay, so some of these numbers should look familiar. We walked through the estimated fiscal year 26 ending balances, as well as the expenditures for the general fund, Measure Q, and several of the other funds. There are no changes to these estimated numbers as of today. So to close out the fiscal year 26, we are looking in the general fund to a revenue of $58,640,862 and total expenditures of $58,739,700, which gives us a slight use of fund balance of $98,838. The pie graph that you see represents the usage by category, with the largest portion going to general government. And of course, your general government departments are your city manager's office, your community services, community development, finance, and such. Measure Q side, we had revenues, and we are expected to meet the revenues of the $9,666,000, as well as the estimated expenditures at year end to be $13,849,500. And of course, there was a planned usage of fund balance for the fiscal year 26, where we ended with the $4,189,500. Again, the pie chart here shows a depiction of the general usage, which you see the lion's share of Measure Q funds was between the fire district and the police department. At the Finance Committee, there was a request that we present the ending fund balances for the fiscal year and also show the reserved amounts that are held within those ending balances. So the beginning balance for general fund for the 26 year was $18,741,000. Revenues in the $58,640,000 with the expenditures of $58,739,000. We have an estimated ending fund balance of $18,642,000. Now, of that $18 million, $6,774,000 is our working capital and emergency reserves. This amount is reviewed at the close of every fiscal year, and it is adjusted based on the ending fund balance of the fiscal year. Cannabis reserves are also part of this number, which is $1,126,754. So this leaves the available fund balance at $10,741,054. So essentially, this number is where we will begin our fiscal year 2027. Measure Q had a beginning fund balance for 26 of $6,208,000. With the revenues and expenditures, that leaves us with an estimated ending fund balance of just over $2 million. Special revenue is considered a blend of several different accounts. This also includes our grants, our reimbursable and preloaded grants, our pre-funded grants, as well as the fire district is in there as well. The beginning balance was $2.7 million. Collective revenues and expenditures leave the ending fund balance at just over $2.8 million. And of course, enterprise funds, which is our wastewater and solid waste, had beginning fund balance of $22,172,000. Revenues and expenditures leave an estimated ending fund balance of $852,000. So to dive into our fiscal year 2027, with the total revenues expected of $70,278,605 and the expenditures of $65,713,000 for the general fund, we will have a surplus or an estimated surplus in general fund of $4,565,000. Measure Q, we are estimating revenues of $9,725,000 for the fiscal year 27. Our expenditures, we have taken time to move some of those funded items from Measure Q back into the general fund. And we've gotten expenditures down to $10,719,000, which does use approximately $994,000 of the fund balance in Measure Q. However, this is a planned use of fund balance of the $2 million that is going to be available at the beginning of fiscal year. I know that we've also had further discussions of looking at some other items that we can remove from Measure Q that City Manager and I will review and bring some changes back to Council on how that's going to look in the future. So to look at this from a detailed perspective, you have the activities by category for revenues in the general fund, and as well as the Measure Q fund that is shown here. The combined general fund balances between Measure Q and general fund leave us with $80 million revenue for the fiscal year 2027. On the expenditure side, this slide actually depicts the change in estimated appropriations from last year into the proposed year. We've also shown the percentage of change, and the categories which you see the most change are those that we have done some impactful changes for this year. So we have open spaces. You'll see there, that's the department where we do most of the park improvements. Let's see, what else? Of course, IT administration is changing at about 40%, and that's largely due to changes in software and programming, as well as the implementation of several different programs over the course of the fiscal year 2027. Transfers and others, that has changed largely because of a change in methodology. In prior year, we accounted for credit for vacancies in this account, and we did not do that this year. So you'll see a dramatic change there, and it's just based on methodology. All right. Moving on. Our Measure Q, we are showing the same depiction of change in appropriation requests this year. I would like to mention that in order to get the balance down to 10 million, or the appropriations request down to 10,719,000, we have removed the street maintenance, open spaces, and building maintenance request from Measure Q, and those are back into the general fund. We've also reduced the fleet maintenance budget significantly, and that $34,500 that is remaining is vehicle maintenance for Measure Q vehicles. We've also reduced the cost allocation plan. So year over year, there was an authorized allocation of $508,000 that essentially would cover the cost of administration that the general fund provides for the Measure Q fund. With direction from city manager, we've actually taken that out of the Measure Q fund this year so that we can allow for a larger fund balance at year end in the Measure Q department. This depicts both the general fund and the Measure Q fund by categories so that you can see essentially how that appropriations request is broken out between salaries, benefits, and other categories within the budget process. This slide actually shows, and I know that this is a little bit much information, but this shows all of our special revenue funds. As you can see, we have several funds that qualify as special revenue, including our fire district. And this shows the estimated projected fund balances, the beginning and ending fund balance for the year, as alongside the activity that's planned for the fiscal year 2027. Here we show the fire protection district and all of the components of the fund for maintaining the fire protection district. The 225 fund, which is the special revenue, the revenues expected to be received this year are $7,602,000. This is largely due to property tax revenue that's received for the fire district, as well as there is some grant reimbursement that is going to occur in that fund this year. Alternatively, the expenditures are $8,822,000 and change, and that brings the fund balance to a negative $1.2 million. Also contributing to our fire district is the 102 fund, which is the $467,000 you see for the fiscal year 27. That is solely the fire equipment that we have financed. and that payment is directly charged to the Measure Q fund from 102. The $4,944,000 that you see from the Fund 103 is the direct contribution from Measure Q into a special fund set aside for fire. So that is Fire Measure Q, essentially. And that cost is largely the officers, or the fire staff that is Measure Q supported. That brings the total support for the fire district to $12,547,000, with the expenditures of $14,234,000 for the fiscal year 27. Wastewater, we have an expectation of $5,703,000 for revenues for this coming fiscal year. There's a planned use of fund balance of $284,000, and essentially we have some operating maintenance that is occurring in this fiscal year, so there's a planned use of fund balance. The wastewater does have an available cash balance of $2,769,000, so it can support this operation maintenance for this fiscal year. Solid waste, our revenues are expected to come in at $7,271,000. This year, we have planned appropriations of $6,766,000, which leaves the surplus that our city manager spoke of earlier of $5,005,000. This slide I've added to outline the debt service that the city has. So these are the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items of debt service that are ongoing. The beginning balances are all vary widely, but essentially we have annual payments that we are responsible for to the tune of $4,769,000. All of these debt service payments come from various funds. This is not all general fund base. Some of this comes from Fire District Fund, actually the 2021 lease revenue bonds, and the Fire Advance, which is an interfund loan between Fire and General Fund, are supported through the Fire District. The pension obligation bonds that were taken out in 2022 are one of our largest debt service items, and that is supported by mostly the General Fund, some of the Fire Fund, and our enterprise funds. And then, of course, the streets refurbishing, we took out the local transportation, or local Measure I transportation, certificates of participation. Yeah, it's a big name. We took out our streets financing to the tune of $12,249,000. Our first payment for that financing will come due in December of this year, and that's going to solely be supported by the Measure I fund. All right, so here's a summary overall. Total revenues expected over all funds is $1,732,255. This number does not include the $40 million that are transfers back and forth through various funds. So we do have available resources of the $201,000, but when you remove the transfers out from various funds and the appropriations, which is the total request from all funds, it leaves a net increase to those fund balances of $33 million. Now, included in that number is also one-time revenues that we will receive for this year that's estimated, including things from the big project, so impact fees, the financing, which is one-time, is also included in this number. So it is, it looks a little larger than normal. Yeah. I've also included, I had a request in our finance committee to discuss the reimbursement of the $5 million that we received from the bridge project. So back in April, we did receive a $5 million reimbursement. Now, this reimbursement was received for various funds. A large part of that is from our local Measure I, which means that $2,894,000 will return to our Measure I fund and be available in fund balance should council choose to use that for other items. Our regional portion, so it's a reimbursement that Measure I gave back to the city for specific projects, is $378,929. Now, the grants portion was accounted for in a different method. So essentially, the Measure I dollars were spent for the project under the assumption that they are part of the bridge project. Later on, as the project matured, we discovered that these were reimbursable. So essentially, we're just basically putting the money back into the accounts that they came from. The grants portion, however, there was an expectation that these dollars were going to come back. So there is a placeholder in our accounts receivable that is looking for this $1.7 million. And so when we bring our treasurer's report, you'll notice that that particular fund has a negative balance, and that will be, this will be applied to that balance. So you will see that cured, essentially, with that reimbursement. I think with that, we have completed 2 workshops this year. We've actually gone to the Finance Committee just recently, and we've also taken the Measure Q portion of this budget to our Measure Q Oversights Committee just recently. Today, should the council choose to move forward with this budget, we will adopt and implement this for fiscal year 2027.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Before I bring it to council for questions, City Manager, Ms. Clayton, did you have anything to add?
I don't have much to add except for that, as Finance Director Harris mentioned, that we will be working to evaluate some items to bring back to council. But with that, I don't have anything else to add at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Clayton. Councilman Williams, questions?
Yes. What goes into actually projecting the budget?
Well,
and shorten it up for me, because you're hitting your numbers perfectly, so I want to know how you do it.
So we have we have a talented staff that actually can go and pull data for several years. So our financing system actually dates back, I want to say, to 2011. We use that data on top of estimates that we received from multiple places. The county can actually provide us with estimates on taxes. They also can provide us timing on when those taxes are paid. And we know, based on the trend data that we receive from our system and all these estimates that we receive, how much we're going to increase or decrease numbers based on economic standards. So that's probably a large answer for your question, but...
Okay. If we can pull this slide back up on here, because I'm going to be asking some questions. Projected income coming in, I don't have the slide in front of me, but it was 180 million?
So are you referring to just the measure?
No, for the entire...
For the entire... Oh, so that number, this number here you're referring to?
Yep.
Projected revenues of 1 million or 150 million, 158 million. So that's over all funds. So that
what was the last year's number on there? Because that's a big jump, right?
Yes, that's a huge jump.
What's the
because
projection?
There are some factors that we're including this year that were not part of last year. So we had a methodology change in accounting. We have what's called the IGSAs, the Intergovernmental Service Agreements.
Love those.
And those we used to account for those in a pass-through method, which essentially means that we know that every dollar we spend, we're going to get back. So we never put that into the budget perspective. This year, however, we're taking a different approach. And so that particular contract by itself is over $30 million. So when you add that to the budget, you're adding that to both sides because it is money we receive and money we pay out. Now, we do receive the admin for just doing the work. We receive an admin fee there, and that's part of our revenues as well. But add that to the fact that we have a financing that's occurring this year. We're also getting a lot of reimbursements for some of the streets projects that we have. There are several factors that are one-time factors that are increasing this number to that dollar.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I have a question on the statement of investment policy, and we're increasing the reverse purchase agreements from 10% to 20%. What was the reasoning on that? I don't have an issue with it. I just
This actually coincides with our California State, the investment authority. So essentially, what we do is when we update the investment policy year over year, we refer to the California State Authority, and whatever changes that they have, we will put into our investment policy as well.
Okay, so there was no internal.
No.
Well, it came down from the state. Okay,
Nope.
thank you. And just, you don't have to bring up the slide, but on solid waste, that calculation revenues was made had we included the $1.71 in the public hearing. So the revenues will go down about $250,000, and then the reserve fund balance of about $500,000 would go to about $250,000, correct?
Correct.
All right. Thank you. Any other questions from council? Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak from public?
Yes, I have one, Mr. Mike Hernandez.
Welcome, Mr. Hernandez.
Thank you, sir. My first question is, in '24, we had a reserve $8.3 million. We took $3.2 million out for the '24 budget. So it left us over $6 million. In '25, we took another $3.2 million. So that left us with a $1.9 million. So I'm kind of confused when Sydney says we had a starting balance of $6.2 million. Where'd the other $4.3 million come from? Because you only had $1.9 million in there. And I'm sorry I didn't bring the reports that I have from the old ones that show it. But I find an increase of $4.3 million. I'd like to know where it came from in the reserve. Another thing is, for 26, just between the fire department and the PD, it's nearly $10 million. And you're collecting $9.6 million. We're spending $4,189,500 more than we took in. And that's where that money comes out of, the $6.2 million. That's on one's on page 5, I'm sorry, and the other one's on page 6. But I'm totally confused where the extra money came from. That's my primary thought. I'm glad to see that in the future that the extra expenditures will be taken out of the general fund, which is where they were taken out before. It's nice to see them go back there. But I do have a concern about the paperwork that she's given me. It's controversial from the paperwork I got before. So, just out of curiosity, where did you get the $4.3 million from? You said it was a surplus, but we only had a $1.9 million surplus. That's my question. I mean, creative financing, I can understand, which is what I think this is.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. I'll bring it back to council for questions. Mayor Pro Tem Noble.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Ms. Harris, you mentioned that some funds were going to be moved back to the general funds, street maintenance, building maintenance, and some other. Is there a reason why?
So essentially, we are taking the suggestion of council, as well as, when we reviewed, city manager and I had reviewed some of these costs. We noticed that there's a split out amongst general fund and Measure Q. So essentially, we're just returning it all to general fund because these are the funds that, that we can easily move over that make sense. But as far as what's going on in the future, we're going to take some time to see what else makes sense to move back to the general fund.
So there are other items that may come out and be moved back to general fund or maybe moved somewhere
Potentially, yes.
And to add to that, we need to make sure it's sustainable.
Right.
And we have added so many things in. We just need to make sure that we're being mindful of what is assigned to Measure Q. But we'll bring more detail back if we have any other proposed changes.
All right, thank you for that.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Noble. Councilmember Williams? No, we don't have a motion. It's questions. We don't have a motion yet. All right, seeing no more questions from council, we'll call for a motion in a second. I have a motion by Councilmember Williams, a second by Councilmember Hernandez. Go into discussion. Councilmember Williams?
I got to commend you. The numbers you guys are hitting and the way that you did it, we talked about it when, Council Hernandez was chairing it. Very impressive to just get even close to those numbers and then watch them kind of hit and we miss a little bit. But the amount of data, the amount of work that has to be done, I got to tell you, I'm amazed. For everyone who's worried about money, I got to tell you, the city of Barstow is sitting pretty good if you go out there and look at the rest of the high desert. Look at their budgets. You'll be stunned to see what is happening. We went on a tour in Victorville. I got to tell you, I was probably one of the scariest things I ever heard. They're hanging on. It's a reason why they're asking for another measure. It's a reason why these cities are in trouble. You can go back to other cities. I'm not trying to put them down, but I'm just going to say to the staff, to the city manager, you guys are doing an incredible job. We're worried about some cities don't have no money. Some cities are millions in a hole. So when I see this, I have to commend you guys because I got to say to you, you guys are accurate on your numbers. I can't just think about it. You're taking a guess of millions of dollars, and you're hitting the numbers from the previous year. So I got to trust this year. I have no other choice to believe in the staff, and I know this council does. I'm going to tell you, Sydney, it's absolutely amazing. And city manager and the rest of your staff, our PD, our fire, we're not as bad as other cities. And I got to tell you, go look at them. Go break down their budgets. For us to have these committee meetings and the number of budget meetings with the public, some cities don't even do it. I got one friend of mine that lives in Napa Valley. I love him to death. Y'all probably know know him. But he was stunned. He called me up this morning and told me this morning this was the most detail he's ever seen from a city that he hasn't seen from his own. It gives you the ability to beat us up when you want to ask numbers. But you wouldn't have those numbers if we weren't so open with the numbers. Councilwoman Hernandez, I want to thank you for leading this finance committee. You do a great job. Mike, I wanted to make sure you got your bridge money. That was a present to you. So I want you to enjoy it, wrap it up, go to sleep tonight with that piece of paper, and enjoy yourself.
Thank you. Councilor Williams, Mayor Pro Tem Noble.
No, I just want to echo exactly what Councilman Williams said. Detailed budget, and I love the way it's broken down. And I know that based on just hearing what the city manager and the finance director has said, that you're going to go back and look at some additional things that may be able to switch around to bring some more funds to the general fund and balance it out even better. So I appreciate that. I look forward to seeing some of the outcomes of some of those things that we're going to look at for the future. So thank you for what you guys are doing, and appreciate the hard work. I know it's a lot of work, but I know you got a tremendous staff that is helping you, and I know they're doing a wonderful job. So thank you for what you guys are doing.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Noble. I'm going to back up a little bit because we did have questions from the public, and Mike's going to remind me if we don't. So if you wrote down his questions, he was asking about the year-over-year reserves, 24 through 26, something about 4.3 million in the fire, and That's the best I can make from our writing. So did you get those questions?
So I do want to respond because the items that you see when we produce the budget are essentially a snapshot in a moment in time. And a lot of this is based on estimates. So when we present this budget, I'm essentially estimating what the balance is going to look like at year end before the year's even ended. Once we get somewhere past that time point and we've closed our books and we've done the audit, then we can go back and actually restate what that balance looks like. And it's been audited and basically stamped and sealed. So there might be some change from one reporting time to another reporting time when it refers to reporting prior periods. So that could be potentially what Mr. Hernandez is referring to. And I do know that we, even now in this process, from reporting measure Q funds, we received a revenue during the course of the time. So some of the pictures that came to the workshops are not necessarily the exact same pictures that you see here today. But we do our best to get as close as possible to those numbers. I think the idea is that we stay within a certain percentage, a certain margin. However, you know, it's impossible to do without doing it retrospectively. So,
Thank you. Okay, and Mr. Hernandez, if that didn't answer all the questions, please let me know, or your district council person.
I wanted to add one more clarifying item.
Please, Ms. Clayton, yes, please.
I know Mr. Hernandez brought up page 6. We're looking at the Measure Q. I just wanted to point out that the $6.2 million there is the beginning fund balance for the fiscal year 2026, which means it was the July 1st, 2025 balance. So that could be, but I'm happy to meet with you in person to go over these numbers in more detail.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Clayton. And seeing no more discussion from council, I'll call for a motion. Oh, you're right. Okay. Who made the motion in a second? First, you got it? Okay. Call for the vote.
And the motion to approve item 20 passes unanimously 4-0.
Thank you. We'll continue as soon as I find my agenda. All right, that concludes with the business, and we will go on to our public safety update. We will have both fire and PD today. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right, let's go with public safety, Fire Chief Cisneros.
I believe we actually have Chief Kirby's slides up first, if we could.
Okay.
Turn it over to Chief Kirby first.
Okay, they had fire here first, so. All right, we're going to go with the PD, Chief Kirby. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council and community. So I'll share with you the numbers from May. Calls for service calls into dispatch was 6,400 calls. The officers responded to 2,387 calls for service. They took 399 reports, and then we submitted 93 cases to the district attorney's office. Our officers wrote 23 traffic citations. They made 60 felony adult arrests, 85 misdemeanor adult arrests, 2 felony juvenile arrests, and 4 misdemeanor juvenile arrests for a total of 151 arrests for the month of May. Some of the events we attended or participated in is on May 18th, officers attended the Barstow Veterans Home 30-year anniversary. On the 20th, Mothers Against Drunk Driving recognized Officer Nicholas Alva for his efforts related to DUI enforcement. That ceremony was held in Corona, California. And on May 21st, the Barstow Police Department participated in the 2026 annual San Bernardino County Peace Officer Memorial Ceremony. On the 25th, officers attended the VFW Memorial Day service at the Mountain View Cemetery in Barstow. And then on the 30th, we hosted the local public safety fair, and we are already looking at ways to improve that by adding activities for next year. And then here's some photos from the public safety fair. On the right, that's me racing the fire chief up the climbing wall.
Who won?
And I'll just leave it at that. And that's the end of report. I can take any questions.
Any questions for the police chief? I'm not seeing any. We'll move on to Fire Chief Cisneros.
Thank you for the competition, Chief. Good morning, good evening, Mayor, Council, and community. Keeping it brief for you guys this evening, we responded to approximately about 1,360 incident responses last month, with about 606 total incidents within the community. So we're a little bit on par on the average of what our monthly responses are. We had approximately about 30 of those were actually, or 33 of those were actually fire related of various statutes, whether it's structure fires and or refuse fires. Then we had about 462 EMS responses, which required paramedics to engage in life safety efforts for the community. But also besides that, the remaining of those calls were all public service type of events, as well as any type of traffic accidents. We only had 11 traffic accidents, which is on the lower end for us. So we kept PD nice and slow with not doing their PD investigations on the traffic side of things. So with that being said, currently we do have Chief Capelli is assigned to as a strike team leader in the overhead position for the shore fire, which is that fire that's currently occurring down in Redlands, and which he actually was responded code 3 out the door, immediate need, due to the immediate structure threat and life safety threat for our border communities of Redlands, as well as Beaumont, Banning, and the surrounding communities. So his return is expected to be tomorrow morning, which he was in charge of about 5 local strike team engines from as far away as Hemet, as well as local community Redlands, Big Bear, Arrow Bear Lake, and a couple other resources from the county. But besides that, your fire district has been working hard. We are anticipating 3 more conditional job offers, hopefully by the weekend of the end. So we're hoping within the next month or 2 that we'll be fully staffed with 3 currently firefighter paramedics in queue, and going through the hiring process currently with these conditional job offers. Will hopefully round us out to being fully staffed within the month or 2. So with that, unless there's any other questions, that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Chief Cisneros. I see no questions. So with that, we will move on to council committee reports. Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you. I attended the Mojave Air Quality District meeting on June the 8th, and basically that was their initial budget, and Councilman Noble will be going to his 22nd meeting where they will adopt the budget. And I also complimented the CEO for Mojave Air Quality for his support and the fact that he came to our meeting on June the 2nd. And he also did a little pep talk about the big project and how it's going to actually help all of the high desert cities. And that's it for me.
Thank you, Councilmember Hernandez. Mayor Pro Tem Noble.
Thank you, Mayor. I wasn't able to attend the military affairs meeting on the 9th. I'll let the mayor report out on that one. I also attended the Victor Valley Transit Authority. There was nothing of significant other than, we meet once a quarter here at the Barstow Chambers. We're going to change that to twice semi-annual here at the chamber versus 4 times a year. Based on some comments that were made based on gas prices increasing and some other things happening, they decided that twice a year would probably suffice meeting here at the chamber. So more to come on that at our next meeting. We're going to look at our calendar for next year, and I will give you a better date on the time on when we're going to meet here at the city chambers for that. Other than that, I know the mayor is going to report out military affairs, but I just want to remind everyone on the 15th of July, our CG will be changing out his change of command on the 15th, and that the High Desert Marine will be holding their ball on the 14th of November. And I'll let the mayor finish out on any other comments from the military affairs meeting. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Noble. Councilmember Williams. Finance? Thought you had a finance meeting.
actually, the chair should be talking about the finance, but I will say it again. I think that the chair, Councilwoman Hernandez, did a fantastic job. Again, I'll say it again. The staff did a great job. I just take my hat off to you. When I saw the numbers, just clicked. But you did a fantastic job.
Thank you, Councilman Williams. Okay, on June 3rd, I attended the SBCTA Board of Directors meeting, and the budget was the main thing there. It's looking strong. On June 4th, attended the Homeward Bound. My notes are on my desk, and my memory's not helping. On June 9th, I forgot, I did attend the Military Affairs. I wasn't going to attend it. I called you and asked if you were, and then I changed the meeting, and I did attend it, and the notes are on my desk. I'll get those to you. On June 12th, I attended the SBCTA Mountain Desert meeting, and one of the items on there, we'll go dark in July, August, we'll start our new year, and one of the items there, I was voted to the chair from the vice chair, so I will be chair of the Mountain Desert now, and that means I have to attend a new meeting for policies, which is the same day as Don Rao's meeting. So I will talk to the rep Iris if they'll move that. If not, I know the city manager, the police chief, the fire chief. The city's well represented there. And if I can't make it, I'll see if the mayor pro tem can represent the council there. Because now I'm committed to another meeting down in San Bernardino. And another thing on there, they asked for our 10-year priority list. Ryan, I think it was Graham, said he has been in contact with Fidel. Is that correct? And they said not only our Measure I, but they apparently help us with everything federal. They go to work for us. So I know staff's working on it, but I just have to say here, let's make a big wish list, because I think we had a few years there where, as I'm looking here at the current list, and I see other cities with requests, and we only have one request. Everything else we have is approved or committed. So we need to build up our request list. And I was supposed to bring my notes from the SCAG conference that I attended in May, because I failed to bring them to the meeting after that. And I was working on that before I had to go to an interview for the America 250, and my computer locked up. So we'll bring my SCAG notes. I had them all finished except for the vote. There was 3 items voted on at the SCAG conference, and the computer locked up. So I will have those. And I will get the notes from Military Affairs and Homeward Bound in later. So with that, we will move on to business of the council. Councilmember Hernandez.
Thank you. After hearing some of the negative comments about the condition of our city and what we do or don't do, so I am glad to report that they already have asphalt on Gray Street, and we know how many years that waited to be redone. Also, Virginia Way is now halfway asphalt, and there's more coming. Tomorrow, they're going to close off on Mountain View and Barstow Road, so please be prepared. Regarding the conditions of downtown, that is private ownership, and unfortunately, we can't tell free enterprise what they can or cannot do with their buildings or their businesses. And in regards to the condition of our city, we are each other's neighbors. And when we see something, we should say something. I can't say how many times people see potholes and then just keep right on driving. Don't call it in. You call it in, we fix them. So when someone makes an accurate comment, my response to them is, then what are you doing about it? I want to compliment the Pack family for what they have taken on. But it isn't their responsibility alone. I know for myself, I live across from Lillian Park. I keep an eye on that park. Something goes wrong or the kids are playing or whatever, I call it in. And the PD can testify to that. And that's what we all need to do about our neighborhoods and our neighbors. We need to look out for each other. And if somebody needs help with yard work and they're an elderly, a senior, what's wrong in us offering to help them do it or even have our kids? You know, sometimes I think we've lost the ability to say to our neighbors, do you need something? And rather, I see more, what can you do for me, rather than what I can do for you. I want to congratulate the college on buying the Rite Aid building. That's going to be the training center for the big project and for all the good paying jobs that the residents of our city are going to be able to apply for. And it couldn't have come at a better time. And I want to thank them for their foresight. They could have built, but instead they took advantage, an infill. But an infill is going to provide so much for our community. The Big Texan, I want to congratulate the mayor and the assistant city manager and our police chief. They won. No other city in California could eat that 4.5-pound steak, but our staff did. And no one seems to have taken credit for that. And I think they should be acknowledged. And my understanding, it was a very good steak. Is that correct? Good. So you couldn't ask for better than that. America 250 was at Walmart today. I participated. The mayor participated. And I hope that many in our community did do that, you know. We are part of America. We are a diverse culture, and I think it's wonderful that they're going around and getting our stories as to, I know how we came to Barstow or how you came to the United States. There's so many wonderful stories that weave us all together and make us all a family. And I think I've covered it all. That's it for me.
Thank you, Councilor Hernandez. Mayor Pro Tem Noble.
Thank you, Mayor. Because we didn't report out at our last council meeting due to being up at the college, I just want to go ahead and report out on some things that most of us attended. We attended the Barstow Community College graduation at the college. Attended the High School Achievement Award at Los Domingos that awarded some not scholarships, but some certificates to about 9 students, I think it was, that received for their academics achievement that they have done throughout the year. Also attended the Barstow High School banquet, where our very own Tex Williams received an award for his support to the football team, but also the youth, just the youth in general throughout his time as president, CEO, however you want to acknowledge, for the football that he has continued to do throughout his tenure as councilman, but also through his tenure as coach, resident of the city of Barstow. So thank you, Tex, for what you do for our youth and continue to support our young kids who are trying to achieve great things. We also, all of the council members attended the memorial service at the cemetery where our mayor spoke on behalf of our veterans and so forth. And thank you for what you said about our veterans. On the 6th, we attended the senior citizen dedication ceremony where we dedicated the senior citizen to Jeff Eason Senior Citizen Center. And I believe everyone here on the dais was there, including the city manager, assistant city manager, and who else I'm missing? Our administrative assistants was there, and Susan Chief was there. So tremendous support for the senior citizen and the dedication. The family was very happy on the dedication and what we did to change the name to Mr. Easton. We also attended the, and Mayor, our council member Hernandez mentioned it, the big Texan where our mayor and chief ate that big old steak and had fun doing it, and we had an opportunity to sit there and watch them and root them on. But it was great to be recognized as the only city in California to have this met the challenge of eating the steak and potato and some bread and some other stuff that they had on there. So I my hat's off to you. Thank you for what you did for our city. I know the residents that were there were rooting you on, and they agree that the things that we do in this city for a small city do some great things, and you guys stepped up and did that for our city, so I appreciate that. Other than that, there are probably some other things that we did, but too long to remit. But I want to say thank you to the staff and everything that you do every single day for our city. Lastly, I would just say, if you're not doing anything this Saturday, please come out for the Juneteenth celebration down at the Drive. I think those of you that has not been there, it is a tremendous event where a bunch of people get together and socialize, talk about the Juneteenth and the significance of it. And I would ask that if you haven't been there, please come out and support it this Saturday at the Riverside Drive. And with that, that's all I have to report out.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilmember Williams.
Yes, I got to hurry up because I got a bunch of stuff to say. So, first of all, I want to thank Tim Sluter because he's on that cemetery committee and he's passionate about it. We don't always agree, but we work together for one common goal, and I appreciate what he says, and he's very knowledgeable. I always surround myself with knowledgeable people. So, Tim, I want to thank you for that. Let's talk about what we did in 1 year. $13 million in roads. People talk about how bad our city is. $13 million 1 year. $1.2 million in parks. We didn't do one park. We did every park in there. So when people say that they don't see the improvements in our city and they don't recognize it, it's crazy when I see these things going on. A brand new baseball field, right? Unbelievable the stuff that we got going on. Again, all done in 1 year. Someone said something that I think Mr. Hernandez said it. We do a lot of town hall meetings, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of people show up. The reason that Carmen hasn't came yet because I ain't found the right one for, and I'm ready. I'm going to make one up for her. But I do the town hall meetings, and everyone's been there. So including our city manager, including our staff. So we really try to get out there and get things done. To Gilbert's comment, I personally had him sitting inside of the city hall with our city manager. So I don't know where that came from as far as him not meeting. But then, Mr. Wiesman, very disrespectful what you did. As far as you're representing me, to call me mayor when you got a sitting mayor here to do that was not only disrespectful, it upsets me. And I know you don't care, but I got to tell you, to disrespect our mayor in front of the city is as a planning commissioner, I'd expect more out of you. I'm very upset about that. Right along, code enforcement. You talk about code enforcement. I went with code enforcement. We went to every place you can imagine to see what the damage is being done. Homeless. fire chief once said at a council meeting, 62% of the fires in a red tag home is caused by homeless. You will never know when you have a home next to you that's going to be a red tagged item, and it could catch on fire and burn your home. Our firefighters go in there. Our police department is going in there. So when we talk about homeless and we talk about, oh, we're just picking on homeless, let me tell you something. It's a lot more than that. You don't even know the amount of drugs are in some of these red tag homes. You don't know the people are selling drugs out of these red tag homes. You know, that is something that I'm really getting upset with people saying I'm going after the homeless. I'm not going after the homeless. I want them to be clean. You put up a tent and it's clean, I love it. Let's go. Leave you alone. But when you trash our community in our desert and you leave it a mess, when you go to the bathroom on Main Street in front of cars driving by, when you have a female who is nude on Main Street, is ridiculous. So I invite you to go with me out to go to the homeless, because I'm one of the few people that walk in their camps all the time, and you're welcome to go with me. It's some of the things are just unbelievable. Ken, thank you for eating a steak with them. I saw you eating a thing. To Gabe, to Susie, I want to tell you, both of you, I'm very proud of you. The videos, the stuff you're putting out, the education thing we need, that's what we need in our city. That's what I've been after. It's what I've been asking since day one. I'm going to tell you I appreciated so much of what you guys did. I'm very happy with that, and I already told the city manager exactly how I felt on that. To our police chief and to our fire chief. Me and Councilman Noble, Mayor Pro Tem Noble, have your helmets. This is given to you by the team for going and driving them out. Yeah, the championship was great. It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. But them kids could not believe that our PD and our fire, and including our citizens, were escorted out of town, and they begged it. I want to thank you for the phone call we did at the middle of the night, waking you up when you were sound asleep to make that happen. To Debbie, we talked today, didn't we? I'm very proud of you. I told you that today, correct? For you to go do what you did is absolutely amazing. I am very impressed with you. I loved your video. I thought it was amazing. To our fire and police, you know, we got your back. I promise you. I promise you, we got your back. This city manager's got your back, and this council's got your back. To all the committees I got, I don't tell the committees what to do. I don't call Tim up and say, hey, he actually just does what he needs to do. He does as the rest of the committees. Our homeless committee, you're going to find out exactly what the heck we're going to do. You're going to find out why we're doing what we're doing. You're going to find out why we're putting the resources together, because what we're about to do is something incredible. And every one of the staff members are there. It's the first time we put our police and fire together with our city manager. The first time that we do it. We're trying to improve and benefit those homeless, not attack them. And when you live in a dirt hole in the middle of the summer with the rats and the mice that's going around there, that's acceptable? That's not acceptable.
We're not going to suspend the rules, so. Did you have more? I'll motion. Okay. Councilman Williams, thank you. And thank you for what you said. When we take this job, we know we're going to be attacked, and normally when they don't have substance, they're going to go after you. It'd be nice to hear some substance from that microphone, but you know, there's a lot more to being the mayor, and I'm not a social media guy. I tried it for a while. It takes too much time, and Councilmember Williams knows the time that I'm pulled out of my office where I need to be earning a living. So I think that's why he's very offended. He knows the time that I lose at my office. Someone mentioned about needing to attend, so I'll mention a few things that I attended. I did attend the Memorial Day service. I want to thank our PD, our fire, and the city. We always have a strong showing there. And Ms. Hernandez, because she made a wreath, the city is back to presenting a wreath at that ceremony. On the 27th, I attended the Chamber's Economic Development Committee, which has been operating without a chair for this year. And I don't know that it's announced yet, and Mr. Battici's gone, so I'm going to go ahead and announce it. I believe that Dr. Laura Alvarado is going to take that chair. That is a great appointment, yes. On the same day of the 27th, I actually attended an event out of the city. I got invited to the Hillendale Elementary School District, or the school, by a former Barstow Unified School District teacher, Jason Doki, who I've become friends with. So I went ahead and took that invitation, and they had a project out there that they wanted to present, and they had a really good turnout for that. On the 28th, I attended the Barstow College Cosmetology graduation, and amazing. A lot of young ladies and some gentlemen graduating that day. On the 29th, I attended the May birthdays for veterans at the Veterans Home. On the 30th of May, I attended the Public Safety Fair. And the only reason I did not climb the walls because I had to be at the CNA graduation later that day. I didn't want to get messy. So yes, that same day, I attended at Barstow College the CNA, which is the Certified Nurses. I attended their graduation. We got them their certificates today. We didn't have them signed that day. And I was on the 6th, June 6th, at the sign dedication for the Jeff Eason Senior Center. And thank you, Ms. Nelson. I received an agenda that morning. It's the first time I received an agenda for an event, and we looked very organized. So thank you. A lot of things are changing. I got the agenda that morning. I go, wow, an agenda for an event. And yes, on the 7th, I did participate in the Big Texas, and I want to thank my team for carrying the weight. Same thing when I play golf. Someone's got to carry the weight. I think I got about 18 ounces of that down, and police chief and assistant city manager, they took about half of what I started with. So, and I took the shrimp. I don't know who took the potato and salad, but I took the shrimp. So thank you for that too. And we were supposed to have 4. Fire chief was supposed to be there. I heard something about got called out for a fire. I looked east, west, north. I saw no smoke, but he said he got called out for a fire. So we'll go with that. Let's see, where else were we? This morning I was at the Barstow Chamber breakfast meeting, and so was our assistant city manager and assistant to the city manager. And Mr. Bruce English had a presentation there explaining what he's doing. And then I met, later on that afternoon, a group of tourists from France that just wanted some information about the Harvey House, so I agreed to go there and gave them some information and some Barstow pins so they will remember us. And then I did go to the America 250, and Councilmember Hernandez, I understand the AC was working when you were there. And if I look hot, I was there just before this meeting, and the AC was not working. So,
It still wasn't working when I went.
oh, okay, someone said it was working when you went. So that's something they're doing, and putting together a presentation and a time capsule that will be opened in 250 years. So none of us will be here to see that. And yes, with Mr. Asa, I also met with him at City Hall. He has been met with. I don't know what else we can do for Mr. Asa. It was brought up about the mural on the water tower. And Mr. Chapa, I'd like to be in the next meeting. This is not a fault of the city. I would like to be in the next meeting. I would like to talk to the water company. And maybe it's time to start looking for alternate locations. But please, the next meeting, get me an invite so I can be there. Okay. Yep, that's pretty much it. So we will go on to staff reports. City Manager?
Mr. Mayor?
I'm sorry. Do we have some before staff reports?
Well, as part of, we can put it in the staff reports. I think we were a little bit gung-ho this morning, or this evening with the agenda, and I wasn't able to give my report from closed session.
Oh, we did miss that, yes. I'm sorry.
So I need to give the report from closed session both tonight and for our meeting, the special meeting that was last Wednesday on 6/10.
Yes, please.
So the report for closed session for June 10th. The council met with all members present. There were 2 items on the agenda. Both were HR related. The first was regarding labor negotiations with all labor groups. There was direction provided. No reportable action was taken. The other item was a discussion regarding the city manager contract. That item was discussed. All members were present. Direction was provided to place it on this evening's agenda, and there was no reportable action from that. That concludes the report from the June 10th council meeting. This evening, the council also met in closed session. The 4 members present at this point were also present at tonight's closed session meeting. Council recessed into closed session at 6:07 and adjourned from the meeting at 6:57. The 3 items on the agenda were discussed. There was no reportable action. That concludes the report from tonight's closed session.
Thank you, Mr. Jarrett. And with that, we'll move on to staff reports. City Manager, Ms. Clayton.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council. I have a few items from public comment that I would just wanted to address before I jump into the PowerPoint presentation. We had one that, just to touch on the Homeward Bound meeting, I know you left your notes, so I'll just add the one item is that was presented by staff was that a contract has been executed with Homebase. That is the consultant that has conducted the county's strategic plan on homelessness, and we are set to kick off the city's, our subset basically of the county's plan. It will take an additional, take the county's plan and build off of that, more specific to the city of Barstow for our city of Barstow homeless strategic plan. And I believe it's approximately a 3 to 4 month contract. I don't recall the exact amount of time, but we're set to kick it off in July. So I look forward to building on that strategic plan. I have a couple comments that were made on the cemetery district and the city's analysis, and there was further information including the cemetery's last 4 years of budget and the city's ability to take that on. Again, we're happy to assist the cemetery, as we stated in that report, that we're currently giving in-kind support with a collaboration with the county's funding and the city's offset funding, in addition to the in-kind project management, just as we did for their previous CDBG-funded, county-funded bathroom project. So we will continue those collaborations and continue support where appropriate and continue that analysis. Another item brought up was a question on the Barstow International Gateway project approval and the oversight on who's monitoring the financial piece and maintenance and so forth. We are moving forward with getting consultants as appropriate, one specific to that financial oversight to ensure that all points of the development agreement, including the development impact fees that are collected by the project applicant, are collected appropriately and monitored appropriately. We have specific restrictions based on our development impact fee report, and we'll ensure that we have the accurate oversight in place, including maintenance and how, again, that plays into the development impact fees that we'll be collecting. And the other question was, how are we going to pay for the police and fire needed without the property tax? We will have some funding up front from other sources. However, we will be mindful in not moving forward with those hires until it's appropriate as the project progresses. The next comment that I have was ask a question about the building that had been burned on First and Main and the city's funding going towards painting that building, but that was not the case. It was not. That's a private building, and the painting was done by that private owner. The mayor has already asked to be included on the next meeting, but I just wanted to touch on the CIF agreement to put the paintings on the water towers. We are still negotiating that access agreement, but as Mayor stated, we will include him on the next meeting. And the banners, yes, the banners they are on order. I have to get the ETA on the banners, but those have been ordered. On order, so I'll confirm with that, but that is underway. We look forward to putting those out as soon as they are here. I wanted to lastly, on the comments, just thank you for the positive comments on my contract being approved. I do want to thank council and staff for it. It has been a busy year. This project has taken a lot of time from our city staff and from myself. We have a lot of processes to put in place. We've been making a lot of changes internally. But I do look forward to continuing to serve Barstow. This is my home too, and I am happy to be part of what is going to take us into the next, I'll say the next phase of Barstow with this project. I do feel like it's going to be transformative, and I am so happy to be part of that. I have talked to a few people about getting out to meet with the businesses now, more than ever, now that that project is moving forward and has been approved. There is going to be a lot of outreach that we're going to conduct. We're getting a consultant on board to assist with that community outreach. We did have a consultant on board previously, and that was delayed, so we're getting another consultant on board. But we have a plan to get outreach out, and that's including meeting with businesses, meeting with those that are going to be impacted, and I really look forward to moving forward again into the next phase of Barstow. It's going to be exciting. So with that, I'll move on to the presentation. Just a couple updates on this week. Friday is Juneteenth. The city will be recognizing Juneteenth on Thursday, June 18th, and City Hall will be closed. We have upcoming meetings are the Street Committee on July 1st, Homeward Bound on July 2nd, and the next City Council meeting will be on July 7th. The Route 66 improvement update, just a brief update that the city, as we reported previously when Assistant City Manager Chapa gave his presentation, that the $1 million appropriation was awarded through Representative Obernalty's office for the HUD program. However, that has been delayed. We don't have the anticipated time frame for the funding, so we are looking at evaluating the options or evaluating additional options beyond what was presented, and we will be bringing that back to present to council at the next meeting on July 7th. Mr. Chapa will be presenting also on July 7th an opportunity zone update. This is preparing nominations for the qualified census tracts for the Opportunity Zone 2.0 program. That's what the governor's office will be accepting those nominations through July 25th. Barstow's 4 qualified tracts extend from Highway 58 west, L Street and Rimrock Road to the south, Riverside Drive to the north, and the Marine Corps Logistics Base to the east. If designated, it would bring additional tax benefits to those qualified funds, qualified opportunity funds, and make eligible investments to the designated areas. And again, we'll be bringing more information back on that at the next meeting. Just a reminder that grand jurors are still needed and asked to apply by July 31st to be considered. And touching on what was previously talked about a few times, the Jeff Eason Senior Center dedication to honor and celebrate the dedication of the Jeff Eason Senior and Senior Center and the legacy and service of Mr. Eason that was a great celebration. Approximately 100 people were in attendance, including our council and state, federal, and county representatives. Also, as several council members touched on, the Big Texan event, that was the caravan event, so that was a great success. Barstow, again, was proud to have our team finish in 14 minutes, and Chief Kirby, Assistant City Manager Chapa, and Mayor they went into the meal content, so it was quite the undertaking, and we're very proud of our team. The Big Texan event brought in, we had the Tin Can Tourists along with the Main Street of America Caravan, and it was about 400 to 500 people, a very successful event again, and very proud of our team. sorry, I meant to advance the slide. More pictures. I was hoping to get a good overview of how big the meal was. So the traffic advisory, we have the temporary closure in the council agenda item as it was, the title was read. It by the city clerk, it only called out June 17th, even though in the resolution for that closure is actually June 17th, 18th, and 19th. So 3 days of closure from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. On Mountain View between Barstow Road and Helen Runyon Drives and 7th Avenue. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the Donuts with Dad event. We unfortunately only had one person register, so we will look at another event for next year. We do have the NASA Space Days coming up Friday, June 26th and 27th. We also have water aerobics and swim lessons. And the 4th of July Freedom 5K run will be 8 a.m. on 4th of July, and then we'll be back in the evening for the celebration beginning at 5 o'clock for an evening of events with a live band and a lot of additional events that we would not that we have not had in the past. I shouldn't say events, additional items that we haven't had in the past to really bring the 250th celebration. This will be I meant to have more information on it because we will not have another council meeting until after this event, but look forward to the live band. It's an 80s band, I believe. 80s band, yes, it'll be exciting. And a longer fireworks show than normal. And then lastly, I just want to say Happy Father's Day this Sunday to all of the dads and stepdads and dads by proxy. I hope you have a wonderful weekend with your families. And last thing is to mark your calendars for Friday, October 9th and Saturday, October 10th for the Route 66 Festival. And that concludes my presentation.
Any questions? See no questions, then by consensus of the members without objection, this meeting will be adjourned at 9:42 p.m.